Well, he developed his life to work with it quite well, it seems like.
I mean, he's pushing $2 million on Kickstarter. I think he's making his money.
Yeah, work something out.
He's doing a lot better than I am.
So,
just gotta get started on the Kickstarter.
so after defending Golden Fields from pretty, at least on the part of the Hill Giants, poorly organized attack, you later discovered that there were other preceding attacks that were not reported or not detected. And most of the food stores, including the very precious ingredients that help make the Golden Gulp Ale, have all been afflicted with this black rot. Caden has made it clear that he's going to be staying behind as a newly inducted member of the Enclave. It's like, he just got the job and he doesn't want to ask for time off yet.
Wait, did you get the job?
No, it's just going way back. So he's indicated that he's going to stay here among the members of the Enclave in this city and do what he can to help try to cure and preserve as much of the food and just overall stores of grain, just everything that they use to supply themselves and a lot of the very large cities nearby that depend on them.
Quick, sure.
Oh yeah.
Before you need to start looking up stuff for something.
What is it? You gotta move quickly. Something's up.
Sorry, wanted to
Okay. I forgot.
Waiting for
Rolling
the
too
flow.
fast.
So you've held off and defend this place from the Hill Giants for now. There's a few things, being spoken about around the town. Same when you spoke with Caden and Radoff. Where are the Giants coming from? You've heard them mention. Did they actually mention?
Yeah, we talked about which forest they were coming from.
Yeah.
It's been mentioned. We don't know where it is.
The Arab
We know
You've heard the-
Groundhog, we know there's a chief.
You've heard the name. You've heard the name of this chief god, this Groodhog location. Which you're
Trying to get fat.
clever enough to discern is, one, if not the main place where they're sort of operating from. Aside from that, there was a lot of connection with these strange snow creatures you all have been hearing about and seeing visions of, and reports of sort of corruption and taint spreading through the high forest nearby. As it stands right now, there's a lot of pathways in front of you, all of which are to the east. You are presently still in Golden Fields. And basically the attacks, any sort of signs of which direction they went, looked like they had been heading almost straight east towards the Forlorn Hills, which has like a small mountain range surrounded by like these low-lying rolling hills and trees and grasslands. Beyond that, that the high forest is this way, down the Iron Road. And you're looking to set out in one of those directions, I believe. I need to know what you're doing before you leave and how you're moving forward once you do leave.
So,
Talk amongst yourselves. This is mine, right?
no, it's fine.
Why did we want to go to the forest again?
Yeah,
What?
Well, the forest, there's the knolls.
There's other
The
stuff.
high forest?
Turn on.
We want to go get mushrooms.
Also, I'm like,
Oh, you already know us.
Oh yeah, that was when you were talking to Savembra.
Oh, that's right.
The herbalist, who was a pretty high-ranking member of the Enclave.
On the grandfather things.
You, I believe it was Titus, who, speaking and working with her, helped discover that there is something that could be used to kind of mass produce and fight off and cure this black rat.
Yeah, and then
I think that's what we should go first.
Well, I think first of all, the trail's hot. We should probably track the giants.
where? Okay.
Because we know they have one. They got all of Artie's friends,
I'm great at
so we can
tracking
save them
giants,
before
so.
they get eaten.
Before they get
And we might be able to like interrogate one of them or one of their minions and find out what exactly they did. Maybe that'll help us.
Plus, if people go blind, the mushrooms will cure that, so
Right. So
they won't be
okay.
dead.
Yeah, they're not dead.
Whereas,
And it's on the way.
You have a new player.
yeah. So we'll be heading in the right direction. We're just going one way.
Okay.
Okay.
What direction is that
It'll
exactly?
be a big fight though, probably.
Yeah,
What's-
probably.
Okay, what's the path? Like where are you talking about?
So, I mean, you are in the town.
Right.
When you were up on the wall, it's not like a crazy dense forest like the High Forest or even, what Ardeep was like to the south. But there are, it's forested. There are trees everywhere through the
Okay.
hills.
Okay.
And it was through sort of like the canopy of those treetops, like maybe somewhere around here. Obviously, the scale is quite small, but off in the distance you saw like fire, smoke coming up through them as if there were, several camps nearby.
Okay.
And the ones that retreated, everyone but the two ogres that remained behind, had kind of fled almost directly east in this direction, right towards like over here. Where they've gone since then, you don't really know. You all kind of, I believe, slept through most of the rest of the early morning into the afternoon, getting a full long rest in.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it's probably very, very late afternoon, early evening.
So we don't know who went, ogres or giants?
Well, I mean, it was a mixed group. You saw ogres, goblinoid creatures, and giants. You all fought ogres and goblinoids directly when you were in, amongst some of the farmland inside the walls. And at the walls, you fought and killed the two hill giants, Lob and Og.
Oh yeah, love and Og. Okay. Well then, I guess I would like to get a sense.
Bob.
What can I do? I don't have anything.
Oh,
No, you're not ruining this. Go away.
Let's get a wagon.
No, you know,
Is that because you heard the sound? Of a wagon?
we have a horse. We have a broomstick.
We have a single horse,
Yeah.
I have a horse.
a single
We have a
broomstick.
broomstick.
I would like.
We also have 4 griffins.
We can't ride the griffin.
No, we can't ride them, but we're going to need to either,
We should
What?
probably
I would like
leave them
to-
with the druids.
either hire a griffin
Protection.
sitter.
I'm trying evil awareness to
You're-
focus on this
You're
region.
a true beastmaster
So-
right now.
I have all the creatures. So I can sense up to 6 miles in the forest and the mountains.
6 miles.
To
Whoa.
see-
Jesus.
to
What?
look- Yeah.
Go on.
I can sense creatures and I can know if they're friends or foes. All this stuff. This is all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
All kinds of things I can.
Is that your primeval awareness, huh?
To see if, where we
So,
should be headed.
You can use your magical connection with nature and expend one of your spell slots
Yeah.
to focus your awareness on the region around you.
Yeah.
And for up to 1 minute per level of the spell slot you use, you can sense whether the following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you or within up to 6 miles if you're in your favorite terrain, which you are.
Yep.
So 6 miles. And you can target aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead only.
Good. No, but I'm really good with giants, I thought.
Um,
Humans and goblins and giants, I can. Would I just do a survival check then?
Yeah, I mean, there's that's primeval awareness is kind of more with like anything that's unnatural, which is like why it's that list of creatures.
Okay.
So anything that wouldn't normally sort of belong
Do we need to
in
know
this
that?
world.
Or are we good? have some other problems.
Maybe when we get closer to the forest, that would be helpful.
How many miles away is it?
Pretty well, like the hills here or the actual forest. Forest is quite a ways away there.
Alright, I can wait on that. Fine. Then I wanna see if I can track. I mean, you can't track a giant. Their feet are huge.
Oh yeah, I mean you're really good at
Are we
tracking.
gonna set out now, or are we gonna set out in the morning? Because I know Titus
I
and
thought
I
it was
both.
already the daytime.
Didn't we rest?
You
Well, we
all the
rested,
giant attack
But
happened
then
in the
you
middle
and
of
I
the night.
spent the entire day and all of our spells
Didn't we rest again?
on food. No, that would we're the day of that still. We need to take.
We're at the
We
end of
fought the
last
giants,
day.
went to bed, woke up, blew all of our shit on
Mhm.
curing beer
So
and
we're
and
still
people.
on that day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then we need to rest.
Oh, we
We're
do.
gonna go out fight giants. We could rest
I
on the
woke
way.
up-
He can't use his smites.
Can't use anything.
Oh, okay. Then fine.
I did realize I said I
And I'll go
spent.
drink some of the good ale.
I did say I spent 12 spells on curing giants and stuff. I realized I gained another 3rd level spell slot, so I actually have 13. So I have 1 left.
Okay.
So I thought of a thing I want to do.
All right.
And go to Miros and ask him how many barrels he has of the bad ale left.
Well, I mean, once people started curing it, he stopped chucking them all. I mean, he's probably got like down below in storage, probably dozens and dozens of barrels.
Because I figured if you put 1 right here and then put 6 around it, kind of like in a honeycomb pattern, I can climb up and sit in the middle one, and you can put 6 more around me, and I can cast the purified food and drink. All of it will be within 5 feet, and I can cure 13 barrels with a 3rd level spell slot.
Okay. So you all see Sand just like
Cheers from everyone.
counting and mathing and moving and positioning things. You're like, what are you doing, Jared? And then like you realize that she's maximizing the amount of ale you can all get. And there's
Okay.
Either that'll he can use that and it'll last him for a little while, or we can have one big party before we leave.
Nope.
you relying on your instincts as a ranger when you're thinking about all of your current events and your potential surroundings. There is something inside you that says maybe I should use my primeval awareness since I'm just going to rest again and restore that ability anyway.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's do it.
These losers with their using all their magic powers.
Yeah.
You don't have any?
No,
Using it to help people.
This is like the only thing I have.
I don't know. I don't know.
Never,
You used your
never
beer
done
sense.
anything magical.
Yeah.
But shoot things. That's
It's like spider sense, but tastier.
it. What do I sense
And then
here?
I got rot poison.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that part wasn't very
6
tasty.
miles. Anything cray out there?
The
So
one
we
time
just
I decided not to
confirm
have
what
ale, and it turns out to be perfect. I'm like, no, I'm just going to be busy today.
Oh yeah, smart.
You got new armor.
It'd be funny if Onyx armor AC is higher than the paladins.
So you're kind of meditating, doing whatever it is you do to tune in. And there's you kind of almost immediately like your eyes are closing, you just sort of pop out of it, and there's this familiarity to this thing that you sense, and it's very similar, going way back to Wave Echo Caves when you all came upon this enraged gnoll monster, just like almost part demon, part creature. Way different than any normal gnoll creature you've ever encountered. And you can't sense, like with this power, you can't really sense the number of creatures, but you do sense and completely recognize that it is something very similar to that.
Gnoll creature?
Yeah, it's somewhere towards the east where this army disappeared to.
Wasn't that Caden though? Wasn't that Caden?
That was Caden, yeah. And Caden is definitely still in the city, and this is definitely not.
Oh,
Oh. Okay. Alright.
Caden killed all
I'll
the
share
trees
that.
already.
Okay.
Are we together?
Yet another
at the
sign
bar?
that points east.
They're all sleeping. Guys, at this moment, I think all signs are pointing east.
Yep. All pointing east. We got some gnoll action going
should
on
go
up there.
There's Cifla staring to the east, sensing
That's me getting that
sensing the
sense.
strange.
there you go.
thing.
Alright, well, let's have some
Yes,
non-tainted
look at
ale
And go to
You
bed
said
and then go.
your senses are you can
Yeah.
sense it right that way. And this is
going
actually
that
pretty
way.
accurate. Like, yeah, there's low mountains, low hills, and some
Whatever
trees.
gets me to the unicorn run, I'm down. So I'm on my way. That's where I'm going.
Almost seems like
Is
she's
she
forcing
leaving?
you.
Is she leaving right now?
No, I was just having a look, and then I'm going back to the bar, and then I guess I'm
Okay.
going to sleep. Yeah, and then
Because if she was going by herself, I'd be like, I have to go with you because at least both of us would end up dying.
no, I'm not going alone. I
No,
would have gone
definitely.
alone a long time ago if I was going alone. So nope, trying to get this whole group together. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, beyond that, I mean, you know, the town is slowly kind of dissolving into not full-on panic. A lot of the druids, the members of the Enclave, are doing a decent job of maintaining the peace, but there are, going against the advice of everyone else, there are small groups of people who are like, you know, in this kind of panic mode, like stocking up wagons, and they're just like, we're getting the fuck out of here kind of mentality.
They're leaving.
Can I just walk through them and be
It's like,
like,
you hear Murray's like,
snap out of it!
my whole plot's gone, it's fucking ruined, like there's nothing left here, they're not gonna be able to cure it, blah blah blah.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Do we even know
Maybe-
if we can cure the food? We can
Yes, we.
by magic.
Yeah,
The
heal
druids
some of
can.
it.
The druids can cast the same spell that we can.
There's been some be curing it, but I mean, we're talking about a massive, 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 massive plot of numerous farmlands, and all of it appears to be, if not already corrupted, slowly corrupting. Yeah.
I imagine with all the druids they have, if they're all casting like crazy, they might be able to push it back slowly. But we're gonna need to find some shit. We want to fix it.
Sounds legit.
So we can find something you think. that
Yeah,
fits
and we
the
could
food?
leave right now if some people didn't completely exhaust
Trying to
their,
help fix it.
their energies.
I mean, we could stay
Well,
on the way.
you know,
We
there's
did
all
our good
this
deed.
land.
Yeah.
Are
You
you
guys
saying
are
you don't
like
wanna have a
in
beer
this
before we leave?
tiny, tiny building.
I'm probably already having a beer as I'm berating you guys.
You're welcome.
For,
I probably cured that beer for
I
you.
want, you know,
well, this
you
is
want
the
to be able to come
this is
back
the
one
holy beer
day.
from the paladin's curing earlier.
You did that in the morning. That's probably already gone.
Yeah.
I took the cask with me.
Alright, we're all having beer.
Okay.
How will we
Right.
travel? I have a horse.
Wagon.
We have a
Oh
broom.
yeah, you have a horse.
What is your horse?
I don't think a wagon will work
What
with
is?
the hills.
Yeah, what's your
It's
horse's
not like
deal?
paths.
To get to the hills, and then you know.
I mean, we haven't really gone too far into it.
how
have we?
far would the
Or
how long?
summon Steed or whatever.
Yeah, just
What's
make
his
a
name?
horsey. I don't know. I can't think of a good name. Horse.
No.
Horse.
Horse?
That sounds
The Adventures of Titus and Horse.
Yes.
that sounds right.
You should name him Dorse.
The horse.
No.
He keeps kicking the horse.
Yeah, Dorse.
What's the opposite of a door?
Window.
No,
A portal.
Window the horse.
a hole.
Yeah.
A wall?
You can name him Key.
Key.
It opens the horse.
I like key. Don't you be key?
I like key.
Hold on, I've got this. Let me use my key. And the horse just bucks
Turns
and
around
kicks.
and kicks it in.
Yeah. why not?
That's your yeah, that's your key.
This is my key.
I like
All
it.
right.
Turn him around
Great
backwards
idea.
as the horse kick.
Yeah,
He's
you're
a
all-
big. She is a big white
It just
stallion.
works because we also have a
White
turtle to
stallion?
use as Key.
How long would it take to like travel to the hills?
How many miles are we talking here?
I don't know. Let's as a group guess because I don't want to do math.
Are all
Like if we
stallions
said
males?
enough for them to do like a short rest and recover enough,
I only need 4 hours.
I mean,
I'm good.
they could do that in a wagon.
I would think you could probably get into the hills in a day.
Oh, so
So
yeah.
that seems about right. Yeah.
I think so.
Road trip.
You know, and then if you were to actually try to go to the high forest, I would think it takes probably like 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 5 days to actually get to the forest.
Yeah.
So if we left now in a wagon, they could sleep in the back.
I just need 4 hours, so.
Yeah?
Almost up.
There you go. See, guys,
Well, you're proficient in vehicles, aren't you?
I am proficient in vehicles.
There you go.
Oh.
Secure us a wagon and then we'll be out.
And how much does that cost?
We're flush with cash.
You're flush with
Oh, that's
cash.
right.
You all
Alright.
have a lot of cash.
Okay, cool.
Now,
yeah.
they all have a
let's
lot of
let's
cash.
do a wagon.
Well.
Okay, where are you getting a wagon?
Deal.
Is there?
Where would
There's got to be like a wagon in the village.
Can't we just
They're
ask
all-
the
It's not,
abbot to
it's not
give us
being
one?
used. We just dump all the rotting grain off and then.
They're,
you know,
they're all
we
being
just-
rented by the or taken off by the people who are leaving town, probably.
those
See, but
dicks.
everyone's probably already got their own. They're all farmers. It's like little houses.
Well,
up there.
I'll stab the people until they give me a wagon. No.
Stabbing.
All right, so it's early evening right now, presumably on the eve before you're going to leave.
Alright, so let's find a wagon.
You can look for a wagon.
Or a
We do
carriage.
still
Does
need-
the
we do
abbot
still
have
need
a
to-
fancy, comfy carriage that he
We
uses?
do need to figure out whether or
Maybe.
not we're bringing our
Yeah.
griffins.
You gonna go look for one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Why not?
Where are you
Look for
looking?
Huh?
around his abbacy.
that?
They just sit on
So
their shoulders.
over in this area
Yeah.
towards
They're a lot
towards this
bigger than
gate.
that.
Yeah.
They are.
I mean, it's a good spot to be because anyone coming and going is probably gonna have to go out this gate with a wagon.
How big are the griffins?
Yeah, how big are they? I don't know if I'm gonna bring them or
So
not.
they about that size?
Yeah, actually, that's fairly accurate.
Okay, so maybe we can get sandbags for them.
Yeah, let's bring them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
a
that's
Ruffalo, I still got the basket mounted on the front of my broom.
All right. So once more, you return towards the abbey. Flint, are you traveling alone right now?
Yeah, I'm traveling
Is this a
alone.
solo job?
This is a solo. This may involve
Alright.
sleight of hand.
So right now,
Oh.
right now you are near this big open field, like where a lot of people are like sort of picnicking. Clearly,
Yeah.
just a big sort of area of congregation here. It's got this semicircle of row houses, and the main road that goes past the abbey towards the gate is something you're also familiar with. Where are you posting up?
Right, trying to around the abbey, looking for the abbot's private stash of people.
Okay.
Why don't we just ask?
Yeah.
Uh,
we helped a lot. Didn't we?
I'm not a person that will ask.
At this time of night, as you know, it's probably about 6 o'clock at this point. The two black bears that kind of like roam and mill about are sort of just like nuzzled up next to each other and slumbering, within view from the road, but like a little ways into the forest. And even Lifferlas, the tree ant is kind of just off to the back there, just sort of resting right now.
Yeah.
The bears alone.
Most people seem like they're off, having their supper or doing who knows what. As you come past the fields, there are a few people with just very mediocre wagons, like look almost single horse-drawn. Not much more than like a wagon you would pull around by hand, slightly larger with like 2 wheels. And they appear to be
Borrowing.
they appear to be loading up these sort of crappier wagons.
Yeah, I don't want a crappy
We
wagon.
might need them for their jobs.
I want a good, like,
Okay.
ornate, comfy wagon.
Okay.
You better leave them for
And you're just looking near the abbey right now?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people still coming and going into the abbey, looking for advice, looking for direction. You can kind of hear, was it Li Zhang?
Oh, yeah.
Zilang, I always do it backwards. Zilang, you kind of still hear like very sternly but calmly, trying to talk everyone through.
Not leaving.
Not leaving, especially some of the poorer looking folk who are working here just as sort of farmhands. A lot of them are families, blah blah blah. But as you're sort of like walking past that area, you see towards the back of the abbey a fairly fancy looking coach.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, this thing is got this beautiful woodwork, done up to look like it's got like, vines intertwining with each other. Decent storage area, enough bench seating for 4 people to even sit at the front of the thing.
You better
It's
leave
a
them some money.
fairly elaborate coach.
Don't worry, I'll leave a note.
Pretty
It's gonna get us 2 miles when we
pretty,
get to the mountains and we're not gonna be able to do shit with
We're
it.
just gonna abandon it.
pretty obvious that this belongs to the abbey.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have any idea how long it takes for these things to kick off once you plug it in?
Is it totally dead?
Is the light on?
No.
The
It's on here, yeah.
Okay, that's true.
And it's warm.
Can't turn it on.
What's your battery at?
Try pushing and holding.
Yeah,
for
oh, yeah.
10 seconds.
Who knows?
No, I mean, like, even if the battery's dead, it should just turn
Welcome
on.
to our world now.
I think he's jealous of your iPhone X.
Oh yeah, your tablet got jealous.
All right, so that's what Flint's up to. Is anyone else doing anything of note, or are you just kind of resting, relaxing, sensing themes?
Yeah.
I'm probably hanging out with the Tressum.
Have some themes.
Trust wings.
Look at this guy.
We're all the in right now,
Everyone's
except for
resting.
Flynn.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
Alex is
Maybe-
resting.
I'm doing the Andy Dufresne, just sitting there looking at everyone, drinking all the beer that I just cured. So
I'm ready to go.
Kevin, did
Have
you
you
just
returned to
leave?
the inn, or are
Did
you
you like
still?
sneak
Yeah.
out so no one
Yeah, I
noticed?
returned.
Okay.
Out.
After I sensed.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna get us a coach.
Oh,
When
And
you
I-
said it,
then
You
I
can
then I
tell
walked
them.
out.
I figured
and we heard you,
we're all gonna eat.
I would hope so.
there's no way.
I don't know if you guys actually.
So-
I don't know if you guys actually listen to me.
it's usually not a good idea.
Well, it sounds like you didn't hear him then,
Yeah.
because he's already over
Yeah.
there.
Well, he didn't say he was telling this to us. He said he leaves and goes.
Well,
to
you know,
work.
I was talking out loud, and you know, I'm
like
in
yourself.
character.
Through the commotion at the inn, Flint clearly thought he announced his departure to everyone and just shrugged as no one joined him. But at this point in time, he is very much near the back of the abbey, eyeing up a fancy, nature-inspired, ornate
I don't know
carriage.
why I can't just pay somebody.
Are you all there?
I'm not there though.
So, several things pass through your mind. One, this is obviously property of the abbey,
Yeah, that seems like
and
it's
probably the
Really
Emerald
not
Enclave.
yours.
We really
Yeah.
need more property.
They're all dicks, though.
You have been working directly for and with them. Maybe you
Oh.
feel like they owe you, or this
Yeah,
would be in their best
exactly.
interest. I don't know.
This
I don't
is,
know.
This is all for them.
Either way, you still think to yourself, that this would probably draw attention if you were to just start
Yeah.
dragging it out of here
Everyone
with
will
brute
know
strength.
it.
Oh, weird. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
System update.
Uh,
Or the other thought is you actually need horses to draw this thing.
Yeah.
So you've got yourself a few pieces of a puzzle,
yeah.
but you still need to solve the entire thing.
Yeah. Are there horses around here?
Um,
I'm not a rational thinker.
Can it be pulled with one horse? One very large.
I could
war
probably
horse?
pull it myself.
It
It's
looks
got
like it
wheels.
needs two
Yeah, but
horses.
you move slow.
No, for the size of this thing, it looks like it needs two
Two
horses.
horses. Oh, maybe it's too big.
Okay.
But I would imagine there would be like horses nearby.
Well, there's stables by that.
The stables are over past the crossroads.
Oh, wasn't
near
there
the
stables next to the inn too?
There are actually stables next to the inn, yeah. So basically back over near the inn,
You gonna drag
north
the coach
further,
over the horse?
or
Like
Over
I
here.
probably could.
Strongman competition.
there do not appear to be any horses sort of tethered up at the.
Nothing's ever simple.
We'll pay someone for something.
I'm just gonna leave a note.
I don't.
I mean, we are going to
I
be trying to track, shouldn't we? We're probably going to need to be on foot most of the time anyway.
Yeah, just take a nap. Not do all this.
Yeah, you know,
Then
we
how
could
are you
just
going to carry all
walk.
the griffins?
They can fly,
Yeah,
can't
we
they?
just do need to figure out what we're going to do with the griffins. Are we just going to go on foot with our griffins, or are we going to hire a griffin sitter?
I need a griffin sitter. I can't deal
You get
with
a
all
griffin.
that.
You got a griffin and a panther.
If you had a
Well,
carriage.
My panther's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If we had a
Go
nice carriage that was comfortable, I'm only thinking so
Well,
you guys could take a nap in
So
it while
if
we're
you
traveling.
steal it
Like
and
a
then we
portable
have
airy.
more people
Yeah.
after us, it's really not going to help
It's
things.
not stealing. It's borrowing.
Now,
Except
are
we're
you?
not planning on
Have you
bringing-
gone back to the inn?
Yeah, I'm explaining this. I went back and I'm explaining this now. My
Okay.
plan.
Alright, well then
It's not stealing, guys. It's borrowing with the intent to maybe return it.
I would butt in.
Can
at
I
this
can I
point.
bring up the map real quick and show where we're going?
Yeah, there's also gnolls there.
The sooner we leave,
Okay, look
We
at
got
see
gnolls
all
ahead.
see all this lumpy brown stuff. That is not road. We cannot take a carriage through that.
Yeah.
we'll
we're gonna get about 3 fields east, and we're gonna have to ditch the damn
I'm a
carriage
ranger.
anyway.
I'm
I'm gonna get
perfectly
some
fine
rest.
with that.
I
It's
don't
not
need-
my carriage.
I don't need a carriage.
The time it's
I'm
gonna
fine.
take us to find a horse,
I'm
find a carriage, get it,
self-sufficient.
everything loaded up.
You know
we're
what?
gonna get
I was just thinking about you and this guy and how you guys always need your beauty rest.
No, pass. Let's that'd be
We
nice.
wouldn't be able to get the beauty rest anyway. We would get 2 miles out of town
Yeah,
and
can
have
we
to
be
stop.
a little tougher? We've been through some things. I think we can walk. And
I think we decided that it was about 8 hours between the town and the hills.
Yeah, but half of the hills are hills that are not carriage worthy.
you just gonna
Forget
leave the
it.
carriage.
Don't need a carriage. Let's go to sleep. And
Fast. If you're really
after
tired,
full
maybe
rest-
you can share the horse.
We wouldn't
Then
be able to
we'll walk.
sleep anyway because we'd be going over bumps and rocks and bouncing all over the damn thing.
I'm gonna go back to the carriage now though, because I'm upset with how this.
You
how
go
this
sleep in the
went through.
carriage.
You go
And I'm gonna
sleep.
carve in it
Oh,
with Hugh.
No!
Titus was here, and then I'm gonna head back to the inn.
Great.
okay. I'm asleep now.
Okay, yeah, it's time to go to sleep.
There's a sense of satisfaction
Yeah.
as Hugh digs into the wood.
Yeah.
You finally carved something with you.
Great job.
Okay.
Great job.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right. Yeah. Annoyingly, you head back to the inn. Carriage free,
Good.
horse free,
Stupid party with their logic.
and
Which doesn't make sense because I'm smarter than the paladin.
is anyone else doing anything before the morning comes?
Did I get any interesting dreams? After all those visions I had?
Yeah, no, this night you're so exhausted from your sleep being thrown off and all the events that have transpired. The only thing that kind of comes to your mind is another image of those weird, twisted, like even for gnolls, just almost demonic seeming.
Can you show me a knoll again?
Yeah.
Like a giant
Bipedal
hyena.
hyena.
It's like a hill covered in grass.
Like a dark furry.
I know what a knoll, a grassy knoll. Does it really come get you? A knoll on a knoll? Double knoll?
That'd be a weird picture.
Oh. Knoll squared.
I was the second gunman on the grassy knoll.
Sounds like my hairy-footed halfling missed his window.
Yeah.
So would this be 2 rolls for the wand?
Believe so.
And
What are you rolling for?
just recharging the
Isn't
wand.
your wand fully charged by now?
Well, that's what I'm checking.
Based on all the rest we've had?
This is only the second day.
Yeah, but you didn't use it in at the giant fight.
I emptied it in the fight before, though.
Oh.
Not emptied, but... it's a 5, so it's full. Yeah, even, yeah, whatever.
It's difficult.
And the staff. Ooh, not good.
Alright, I'm gonna roll to see if my beer refills.
10.
I'm gonna go right now.
20! Oh my god!
What? The best beer of your
Really?
life.
Drinking all the beers.
Alright, all the things are full.
See much better yet.
Full rest, all the slots.
I regret wasting that 20.
Keeping that.
Those don't come along.
Ditch that. Ditch that.
Bird.
Well, there we go.
The brewing.
Light and fresh. No maltiness, no hoppiness. This has a lumberjack on it. Creepy Uncle Dunkle. Dark lager.
What?
I like the sound of that.
Creepy
What does that
Uncle-
taste like?
It's from Victoria. It says it's a dark lager.
I'm gonna try a sip.
You want some creepy Uncle Dunkle?
Oh yeah, I want that. Definitely want that in my mouth.
Little uncle in your mouth.
Dunkle.
Alright, which one did you open?
The creepy Uncle Dunkle is a big stuff.
That's a dark
I'd like to
one.
try a taste of that one too.
You give up
I
the
altered
taste.
my preparations.
What is it?
My preparations.
Just
spell
give you a
prep?
taste.
Yeah.
Do you need to keep track of those or?
I'll just do it, and then
Okay.
when I ask you, I mean, I trust you. Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. Could you just give me like a half glass of that?
Yeah.
Thank
sir.
Top off.
That's quite lovely. Excellent.
There you go. Sneaky Uncle Dunkle. Looks like a lumberjack with a pipe and looks like a hipster really.
Wow.
Super creepy.
He's just I mean, you know,
So did I get some time to examine the Tresson?
You did, yeah, definitely.
You realize that with some hot sauce, their wings would taste quite delicious.
They're cats,
cats?
aren't they? Yeah, flying cats. Yeah. Yeah, you want to eat them.
No.
That doesn't mean that their wings wouldn't taste delicious.
Gross. Cats are carnivores, so they're carnivore meat's usually not very good.
Really?
That's
What's
what
that?
I've heard.
Cows are carnivores.
No.
Cows are the opposite of carnivores.
What beer is that beer?
They're carnivores.
If they had
They're eaten by carnivores.
if they had the opportunity, a cow would eat you and
I don't know
everyone
if
you
you've heard
love.
on it.
I don't think
Evil
so.
cows.
I don't think that'll happen.
The white one.
Where cows?
They're cows.
This is some golden ale.
Why are you talking like that?
Oh, yeah.
They're
Some of the
cows.
restored golden gold.
They're
Yeah,
castle.
this golden gold came out great.
Well, you wanted to talk about that.
All right,
No,
that'll be
I
easy.
know. All right.
Oh, right.
Igor, help me with the bags. All
There's
right.
more of that.
I'll take the blonde. You take the one with the Toyman. I actually just watched that a week or two ago.
It's classic.
He was my boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do yoga or whatever. So. The cat too. They both do it. And they're both stretched.
Downward facing dog.
Yep, really get it. You really want to know more
What
about
doctors?
these carrots?
Oh, thank you, doctor.
Want to know more about this?
Whoa.
She's a good catcher.
That wasn't a treat.
She loves
I
carrots.
think so.
Yeah.
Carrots are fantastic.
And they're good
Good
for
for
their
eyes.
teeth too.
Yeah, she can see really well. She eats all the food that falls. Alright, are we well rested?
Yeah, I was waiting for you for your dream sequence.
Oh, I didn't know it was good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So after
Yeah, the Scooby Doo ending.
after using your primeval awareness, there's a lingering sensation of that fiendish presence you detected, and your mind kind of stirs in the night, and you once more see the same sort of ritualistic chain of events that appears to be happening in a forest filled with black trees. And you see this hooded gnoll figure with kind of striking white tufts of fur coming out, like around his jawline and around his forearms as he raises this wicked-looking dagger up in the air. And you notice as he raises it, the moon is just
Whoa.
the color of blood above him through the forest sky.
Black trees.
And there's an awful sound as he drives the dagger into the abdomen of this human and starts
Causing
carving
dirty.
him open as the blood spills out around this altar. And there's like a howling and a barking and just a sound of ferocity around him. And you can see he kind of reaches in, now with the hood drawn back. Imagine, if you will, the fur on this image is a bit more white.
It's a corgi.
But you see him just
Whoa.
pull out some of
What?
the insides and just start eating it and letting it drip around his. And there's behind him just more normal looking gnolls who appear to be participating in this ritual are sort of dancing and howling and chanting in the background. And then eventually they eat this thing down to the core and they throw it to the ground, where some of these more perverse dog-like forms of themselves are also sort of rounding about in packs. And just chewing on like the leftover discarded corpse of the fellow that they were just performing the ritual on.
Oh my god.
And you're kind of stirring in your sleep, and though you get your full long rest, that you're kind of tormented throughout the night. And there's this sinking sensation that the black rot, these weird fiendish gnolls you've detected, and everything you've been hearing about the High Forest, it all feels to be some sort of perverse play on nature, something destroying the natural balance of things that you hold dear.
So wrong.
This is just her this time, not.
Woke
It
up
is,
in a
yeah,
gas.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Almost feels entirely related to her tapping into the dark magic of her primeval awareness.
Flint had a dream about dwarven women.
God.
There you go.
Tuh.
Flint had this dream where there was like 4 majestic white ponies drawing that carriage
Yeah.
that you saw earlier, and in the back it's just this grandiose party. He had stolen all 16 of the kegs that San had blessed,
Oh my God, what
and
a-
he's back there letting them all just spill out, surrounded by all kinds of women, dwarves, halflings, humans. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Wow, you had a good dream.
And the wagon, they're like, oh yeah, the wagon's bouncing all right. He's sort of repeating, you can hear his friends saying, it's gonna bounce through the hills. He's like, it's fucking bouncing! As all the girls and Flint are just jiggling around through the back of the wagon as it goes tumbling down the
A little
road.
bumper sticker on the back. If this wagon's a rockin'.
A rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Oh my God.
I'm just curled up with my griffin.
Ugh.
Titus is dreaming, I don't know if it'd be a nightmare or actual pleasurable dream, but he finds himself in a labyrinth just filled with doors.
Why is the judge-
Doors everywhere, doors down every corridor, doors above him.
Doors.
Everywhere he turns a door, what does he do?
Will Key save you?
Smashes the first door and enters another chamber, this time in an octagonal shape with 8 doors.
Whoa.
One of them already being smashed through your entrance.
I'll break all of them. All will be broken.
One by one, you break each and every door, and then finally on the 8th door of this octagonal structure, you punch through, and as you do so, you kind of sit up in bed in a hot sweat, and you find that it's morning time.
I have a cold sweat.
Your hand through a pillow.
Oh my God.
Flint's got something
Feathers
else.
everywhere.
What?
Gryffindor sitting on a chair looking at him sideways.
What was what was Sam doing? Just snuggling in her griffin,
Yeah, probably.
resting comfortably.
Peacefully resting.
So you can play the Griffin.
Yeah, there you go.
Hoping her uncle's okay and lamenting the fact that her home is now being overrun by demons, probably.
How many uncles do you have left?
Creepy Uncle Dunkle, is that one of them?
Oh yeah. Well,
Two of them. Well, I don't know, or I don't know how many freaking uncles my mom had, or brothers my mom had.
Me either.
Yeah, me either.
Or my
Seems like-
dad.
Seems like
but-
a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
They're
Well,
replacement.
It's
I'm an
morning.
only child,
It's
though.
morning, and Miros is down at the bar per usual, brewing a pot of coffee, cleaning some dishes. There's a smell of breakfast in the air.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna need some morning ale.
Some eggs.
That was
Some morning
fun.
ale.
I've got to tell you guys about what I dreamt.
I've got to tell you guys about my dream too. It's the
Yeah.
most amazing carriage.
Well, we all had that same dream. It was just.
Oh, we all had it?
Well, we
No,
had it.
before.
We had the night before.
Oh, you
Or,
had it the night before.
A lot
Did
of
you
you
tell
had
me?
a share.
We all had it.
We all talked
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned it because
You
like
guys had that
I-
wagon dream too?
originally I was freaked out because I thought the beer caused the dreams, but then Titus said he had
Oh,
it
I
too,
don't remember that.
and
Okay.
he had milk, so
I
I knew
had
the beer
that-
was okay.
I had that horrible dream again.
You had
all
milk.
those gnolls and the blood and the moon and the dark trees.
Fucking
Like,
creepy big white one.
what are we getting into? You guys better be well rested.
Super well rested.
Flint's
Okay.
just kind of grinning. Like, oh, yeah.
What are you smiling about?
Can't convince you guys about that carriage, can I?
You know we're going into the hills and like you're just
Going
gonna
off road.
maybe
Do I get any sense that silvered weapons would be any good against these things particularly? They have kind of like a wear vibe to them. I mean, it's a bit late to do that now, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, for your own curiosity.
possibly for.
We did bring a lot of silver from the thingy thing, didn't we?
A quick breakfast and then we're off.
From the mines of Fandelver.
We did find a big pile of powder
Those are
somewhere. We can make a
mine.
holy water.
Yeah, do you need to make anything before we leave?
You don't think that just basic fiends
Okay.
would have any sort of
So it's not like the same as like werewolves.
susceptibility to silver. no.
Werewolves or
Okay,
vampires or
yeah.
You have a paladin.
I'm
You got lots
definitely
of
wearing
spells
my
for
nice
fiends.
wizard cloak and my unicorn charm necklace.
Oh,
The magic
okay.
I'm all
weapons
set
sound
to
good.
go. still have that emerald gold necklace in my pocket.
I just gotta hope that you're made of
Never
plant
give
life.
that back.
Yeah.
Maybe play a little viol in the morning.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
Is this all set? Need to kind of like
Alright, so
get some
seeing
zen.
how you guys didn't like my wagon idea,
Yeah.
how do you suggest that we travel to the hills with all our...
I'm great
On
at
foot. Guess we're hoofing.
I'm great at walking.
Well, I'll
Do
be
you
on
want
the
to ride
horse.
on the back of the horse? I don't know.
You
Aren't
can ride on the horse.
I mean, aren't
The
you
big
really,
horse?
you're really
Alright.
small, right?
Where's our griffins gonna ride?
I think I'm leaving mine with a sitter. I don't like the. Are they old enough to handle all this?
Probably not.
You can sell
Um,
Radoff and ask him.
They
You
can't fly.
your first thought as you think about that is you've been watching how
Can Sheldon watch him? What was his name?
Sheldon.
well, the
Artie.
Artie? Artie's here.
Artie's joining you.
Oh, he's with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh jeez, guys. We're really going out there, huh?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, we're going.
No,
you can ride
but
on Artie.
being the Beastmaster that you are, you've been admiring how tender and yet powerful this innkeeper Miros is.
Oh, true.
And he's got a large plot of land here, and the 2 Tressum cats that have been here with him, he's been pretty adorable with this whole
Yeah.
time.
I mean, maybe,
You almost wonder if maybe
maybe
he'd
go
be
chat with
interested.
him and see if maybe we could watch mine
Yeah.
at least. What's mine's name? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember her name. And write it down.
We haven't named them.
You get the black one, right?
Sounds right. I don't know if I even
Maybe
know.
it's Nightwing.
Nightwing? Nightwing?
What are we? How
I
old are
already
they
have
supposed to
Onyx.
They're probably, I
Hufflepuff.
don't know, a few months?
be? Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
can't fly.
So they're
son.
adolescent.
Yeah.
Animals grow up
Yeah,
quick,
but this
though.
big.
I mean, they're old enough to be away from the mother,
But
Yeah.
they,
but they can't quite
they
fly
live
yet.
a really long time, probably.
I'm gonna take mine with me, Gryffindor. You must learn.
Okay.
Must learn how to fight. How to kill dwarves.
How to kill dwarves?
Dwarves.
I don't know, I
What
heard
was
dwarves.
this?
She's like slowly feeding pieces of dwarf meat, dwarf jerky.
On the slide.
I'll keep Ruffalo
Mine-
with me
is
to
mine
defend
too
me
big
from
to
what
sit
this
on my
guy's
shoulder?
trying to do.
It's too big to sit on my shoulder, right?
The griffin?
He's that big? Would that be a pain? Those claws?
It probably
He'd
would.
probably-
oh, could
he'd
you
probably
ride
need
on
something.
Onyx? An Onyx?
I don't know if Onyx would like that.
Maybe
Cats aren't big.
Onyx loves.
Why don't we try? Let's put
Yeah, let's
something on
try your
Arya.
animal handler.
Um,
But you would need to sort of fasten something together. You could
okay.
probably
Onyx,
find a
but
saddle.
Onyx has armor. New armor? Is
That's
there
true.
like a
I
little...
didn't put a saddle on it.
Why don't we say you put like a baby seat on
What
the
your
Arya?
name?
Onyx
Saddlebag.
loves the griffin. You love
Okay.
the griffin.
Why don't you
huh?
put the Griffin on
Griffin's
Arya?
taking a little
And we'll
nap?
see if she likes it.
Oh, she will destroy that
Oh.
No, no, she can't have that.
in like seconds.
No.
I mean, you can put a
You love the
saddlebag
Griffin, look.
You love the griffin.
on,
You want the griffin
on
to
your
come with
horse.
us?
You can probably ride on my
Would you
horse.
be a good babysitter? You could, couldn't you?
I mean, hopefully once they get big enough that they don't fit in our little carrying cases, then they'll actually be able to fly.
Maybe.
I mean, you could sort of fashion something with like an
you
old.
love the griffin. You wanna sit on the griffin? Yeah.
If you took like an old backpack or something, you could probably like work something out where
Okay.
you like set up a
You need a
little.
Bjorn.
Yeah, basically like a
Okay,
Bjorn.
we'll make a
Like a little
Bjorn.
knapsack.
No, you're not messing with the griffin. You can just take him on your back. Okay, maybe. I mean, you could fashion like some rope or something. Griffin could hold on there, and
Yeah, sure.
I think Onyx is really into taking on this task.
Yeah. All right. You only needed 4 hours of sleep, so you have plenty of time in the morning to
All
tinker.
right, they're coming. So
You got a nice little montage in the stables with Onyx like just kind of grumbling and
look,
groaning,
see, they can't be apart. They don't need to
Aww.
and then eventually you
Then
sort of
carrots.
modify
No, is Flint
a
bringing
leather
his?
backpack so that the straps can go around almost like a big sweater on around the chest of Onyx. And you've kind of got it tight enough for like an adjustable sort of strap over the back.
They
This
can't
little
be a-
bird head sticking out.
Yeah, with like a little backpack
Oh,
flap.
so cute.
Yeah.
Like a reverse backpack flap, so it would kind of open down where like the head can kind of like, it's almost like a small, like carriage
Yeah.
on the back of
Yeah.
Onyx. A sort of leather carriage.
They're into
What
it.
could have been,
Okay, we're
Are you
all
bringing
going.
yours too?
We're not going to be apart.
like,
What Darkwing?
You don't have to.
I
freeway.
feel like I have to
We're
now
on
because everyone's bringing theirs.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I was kind of waiting to see because I know Ruffalo
But we
got
are going into like
I know.
basically giant fights
I
with
know.
like,
what
giants.
If they never come back?
Who would have thought Flint would be offering
This,
This is
conservative advice?
This is all the stuff we were telling Titus before he rolled the 20.
yeah.
well,
Yes.
if we really need to, maybe Onyx can protect them somewhere. Or we could stuff them in a hole. I don't know.
The safest place is with us.
Onyx is now the den mother.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if
Right?
if Miros could look after mine because I feel we're going to be in a lot of danger in the upcoming couple days.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like what's the point in having them if we're just gonna leave them with other people?
Okay.
It's like having a
You wanna
baby.
come, Darkwing?
But then we just stay home.
Bring babies. to
Yeah,
the
maybe you
party?
should leave them with someone like your mother left you.
Oh.
That's why I'm holding on to my super tight.
Okay.
Make it about the abandoned.
So when the
issues.
giant clubs down on you, it kills both you and the griffin.
I won't be fighting with him.
Where are you gonna put it then? So you're just gonna leave
On
them
my
in the
horse.
woods?
On my beautiful horse. I'll take him away. Safety.
Licks here.
Yeah, like. Alright, Onyx and Darkwing.
I don't know why I'm arguing with the paladin. He's clearly less intelligent than I am.
Okay, are we ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Alright, we're going. We got
Alright.
everybody. We got everything. We got all asleep.
Caden is
Eat
also
the food.
staying behind too with
Yeah.
his griffin.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to speak with Kaden and
Oh,
Miros
that's right.
and have them look after my griffin.
Now I'm taking mine.
Okay.
Can't leave them.
I know it's the better idea.
I may
around
never
2
come
o'clock.
I will
back.
also pickpocket Titus for some money to pay them to look after my
Ugh.
griffin.
You're broke?
You know Titus. He's not interested in material possessions. He kind of
But
looks at,
he
he
holds-
looks you in the eyes deeply, and he says,
He holds the group money.
"You
Are you talking about Titus or Caden?
it's Caden. Caden.
He's talking about
Well,
Titus.
this is just to like,
Well, you're trying to get money to give Caden, right?
well, Miros and Kaden. To
Okay.
kind of, you know,
Alright.
that's just with feeding and carrying.
He accepts your money and basically gives it to Miros and tells him to use it to help anyone you need around here in these troubling times. But Caden looks deeply in your eyes and he says, I know we've had our differences, Flint,
Yeah.
but I appreciate what you and the others are doing, and I wish I could be there with you. I will do what I can to ensure that you have a safe haven to return
Yeah.
to when your heroic deeds are done.
Yeah, and I
Thank
nod.
you for your donation, and he just sort of
I nod and be like, "Who's gonna turn into a bear and just
A bear.
take abuse?"
He says, I will when they inevitably attack these walls again.
Yes. Then I
Way
can
to
rest
take it.
easy.
Way to go. We'll miss you.
Maybe
What
work
was
on your pull mastery.
Also, we've replaced you with a turtle.
I mean.
A very large turtle. Or tortoise.
Turtle.
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 Oh, that's right.
Oh, jeez.
And we're off.
Oh, jeez.
Alright.
Alright, so... I'm sorry, I didn't catch the part on how you're traveling.
Are you gonna sit on the horse?
I'm sitting on the
You're
horse.
Yeah,
sitting
you have
on
to-
the horse with Titus?
Yeah.
But it's like this.
He has really
Sure.
short legs, right? So I mean, what else is gonna happen?
No, it's awesome.
I'm gonna stand on the rump and
What are you doing?
Hold
With your griffin poking, or do you have him on your chest or on
No,
your
no,
back?
you left him
No,
with.
I left.
If
Oh, you
everyone's
left
on
your
horseback,
grass.
you're gonna be really tired or
You
not
want
be able to keep
horseback
up.
too?
Huh?
He's got a
He's
broom.
got
You
a
can ride
broom.
on the broom, yeah.
I mean, I can fit you on the broom. We won't
I
go as
could,
fast.
I could
Well,
probably ride on the broom.
Why don't you
We
dwarves
can't
ride
both
on
fit
the broom?
You're too heavy.
What? I don't have a
How much do you
hoverboard or
weigh?
anything.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
No?
You plus all
No,
your
but
armor.
you were riding with me.
My armor's
Right.
Yeah,
light.
and it went
Can I ride
really,
on
really
Onyx?
slow.
Only oh,
And you fell off.
Don't talk about my heavy armor. My armor's
I
light.
need to buy a
That's
horse?
true.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
But
buy
I
a
don't let
horse.
you
Oh no, you can ride on my horse. Flynn will ride on the broom.
Get two people ride on the horse.
You're always mean to me.
It's
Why
a
would I
big
let you
giant
ride
war
on my broom?
horse.
It's a
Because you need
Yeah.
me.
I don't need
Alright.
You're a light,
Okay.
thin elf.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait at the thing and let them go to their certain
I'm
deaths.
gonna ride on the horse, you ride on the broom.
Because
You're-
Sam doesn't want me on the broom.
And then you're
I don't want
okay?
her on the broom.
What,
Oh.
Is Onyx
She
okay?
can ride on the broom. He can't ride.
Yeah,
on
I
the
just keep up. Yeah.
You gonna carry the griffin? Alright.
I'm gonna see if there's a war pony I could rent.
I mean, there are at the stables, unlike the wagons, there probably are a couple
You're a good
horses
walker.
for
You have
sale.
lots of
All
them.
right.
Okay.
Unlimited
Are there
baggage,
war
you want-
ponies?
Yeah.
War ponies. I'm sure there are.
I'm gonna
dwarf
say
plus
there's
noble
probably
horses.
a 25% chance that there's war ponies
D10.
Cut?
and success. It had to be 25 or lower.
25?
There is a couple dwarves in town.
Yeah.
And they were traveling with an extra war pony for carrying supplies back. In this case, not many supplies to bring back.
Yeah.
And they find themselves very willing to barter with you for their war pony.
All right. I'm gonna get a war pony to ride then.
Okay. Let me see how much something like that might cost in a time of need such as this. How much gold do you have?
I'm flush.
What does that mean?
I mean, I just gave him 190 worth of
I don't know
gems.
exactly
Yeah.
what
So
I
I'm like,
know exactly
You're
what
welcome.
I'm well off.
do we
because
do we
there's-
have an idea of?
There's
the
been a number of
actual-
treasures where I've claimed
Like
and
him,
split
him and
with
Bellows
me and Bellows
took
and,
all
and
the dragon
whatnot.
hoard to themselves. He found a huge treasure chest in Wayback Cave to himself. I know this. No one else knows. We all know that his.
All right, I'll say just based on the
His
other
coin
games,
purchase
the other games I've run, around this level, like the average, even in my other game that's about the same area you are, the average party member, not the roguish types or the greedy types, has about like 250 to 350 gold.
So he has most of that for all of us because he's been taking all of our gold.
Yeah.
So
We got the 600 we got from Gundren and like a little.
Now
bit we
that-
found
now
at
that
Thunder
Bellows
Tree,
isn't
and
traveling
everything
with
else is
us,
his.
and
I'm like,
wasn't Titus? I thought Titus was holding.
He was holding what we got from Gundren.
he was
Okay.
holding what they were aware of that we found.
Let's sort this out right now, and we can. I'm. It doesn't need to go hyper detailed, but just in the sense that like let's all collectively ballpark what we think you have, and I'll be fine with that.
I found a big chunk under a stone in Thunder Tree.
Uh-huh.
I gave 50 of that to Mirna.
What?
And then the rest of the party.
Ballpark. What do you think Titus is holding for the group right now?
So, well, it was 600 plus everything else we found that we've actually shared. So
Alright, and
probably
you just
about-
gave
probably about-
everyone
Probably
here
around like
100.
600. Yeah.
And the rest of you all, other than maybe Sifla, who had that stash, would be what? Pretty.
I have 45.
broke? Okay.
Because, yeah, everyone got. Are we saying about 190 for the gems?
So everyone
Yeah.
got about
Okay.
200.
Yeah, so everyone has like 190 plus everything they found.
I'm
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like when I gave you the number for the gems from the Giants, that was for all that
Yeah.
lot
It
of.
was, well, it was, I gave them all 19 gems. You said there were 9 or 10 each. So if we just say flat 10, that's 190.
Okay.
Bam.
All right.
What do I have?
We'll
What
say
did I get?
Titus has 850 gold from all of the craziness of your payments and jobs and holdings. San, you've got
45.
45. Sifla,
Yeah. How
I
much did I
believe I
run
did
away
mark
with?
down because you ran away with quite a lot. Yeah, you have 340 gold.
a number of that is
Is it-
stuff I bet on myself.
Is that before or after the 190
For the gems.
Before.
from the gems?
Probably before.
That should be
If
about
that's just from the game winnings.
Yeah,
She
I mean,
should
I
be about,
ran
like,
off
500.
and stole
You're
that.
rich.
That should be
Let's say she's at 500.
Is that 400?
430. Yeah, that's good.
Artie has
130?
Nothing.
nothing.
You can have like a pouch with 10?
Poor guy.
Maybe he probably does.
It fell off when they threw it.
Probably.
And Flint,
Oh, jeez.
how much do we think Flint has?
Who's giving me all these taps?
I would put probably
the-
more
half
than
the
what
dragons-
Titus is carrying.
No.
It's-
No, because he got the huge,
Or about the
huge
same.
damage.
I split like the dragon horde with Bellows.
I don't think it was a big dragon horde.
No, it probably wasn't, but
And then there was the
Feed
big,
the beasts.
there was a big bunch of, like, he found a treasure chest he just said was full of coins and way back home.
Alright,
Yeah.
so those two
so
treasure
maybe
chests
around
combined,
like
All right.
like 450, 500.
I was gonna
area.
say 500 was
Yeah.
my guess.
Also,
Because I have a
that-
thief in my other game who's got a similar MO, and he's around 500.
Let's say
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Also, Corgelian found some scrolls in Waybuck. Okay, did I ever get a chance to look at those?
No, she disappeared with them.
Took them with her.
Yeah. They gone.
Stop
Turns
trying
out those
to-
are the exact scrolls you need to solve the puzzle.
Shut up.
They were in Waybuck. They were like 500 years old. So.
All right, so you have 500.
Yeah.
Now, here's where we go from there.
There's a
You
pony
initially
fence.
go to look for this war pony. Find some dwarves who are willing to negotiate. You've gotten the sense that things are a little more expensive than they normally would be on account of this starting to feel like a time of war,
Yeah.
supply and demand and all that.
I appeal to their dwarven ancestry.
Okay.
Go up a bridge.
Well, before we do that,
A little charisma check.
so typically,
Get ready to roll.
I'm looking at the wrong thing, sorry.
How close is Titus while I'm negotiating?
I don't know. Were you off on your own, or did you go together?
Possibly off on my own then.
I think we all would have gone together.
Okay,
right?
there
'Cause
we
we're
go.
all on our way
I just
out.
want to know how close he is, so I can just reach into his pocket and pay them.
All right. So
Terrible.
let's say he's not more than a short walk away. He's in eyesight.
All right.
Typically, the market you've seen like a war horse would be 400 on average. In this
Alright.
day and age, it's about 600. Now, war ponies, being a smaller thing,
Yeah.
and less able to actually do manual labor type work, typically cost about 250.
I mean, a war horse is only really if you need to do mounted combat. You can just get a riding horse. You got a riding pony?
He needs
no.
a war
The
pony.
man said he wanted a war
I
pony.
saw the war pony, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is majestic."
They come at you with an offering price of 350 gold.
Whoa.
I bet I could pull that carriage with this war pony, and it would be beautiful and.
You can barter.
It's actually a good deal.
Yeah, I think so.
You can't just take the first offer they give you.
Can I have some carrots?
Yeah.
Said the war pony.
Yeah.
With sauce?
Is there any cookies left?
I don't
Yeah,
understand
there's a
it,
million.
but I give it
Yeah.
a carrot.
No sauce?
I mean, it's fine if they don't want a lot of sauce.
This is for me. So.
Yeah. We're giving you a good deal, 'cause you're a fellow dwarf. And I thought I saw you kill one of those giants
That's right.
when I was out having a morning smoke.
It's just
Smoking dwarf.
One of the highlights of my week.
I'm gonna give you a fair price. 350 gold pieces.
Oh, do you want plain?
Wow, I thought you. Yeah, sure.
All right.
That's it?
That sounds fair to me, because I know you're a dwarf, and this is a time of trouble.
Even Titus.
I wait till Titus is looking away, and then I reach into his pouch for some extra gold.
You
Actually, you're probably keeping most of it in the bag of holding by now.
You notice he's got two war ponies here.
Yeah.
This one was clearly like the extra one.
Yeah.
The other one is bridled with this white and sort of gold filigreed saddle, like really, really nice. And he's about to hand you the more tired, clearly older, clearly extra war pony, but then he pauses for a moment and brings the fancier one forward. Says, "You'll probably need this one more than I will."
Very nice of him.
And presents
Alright.
you with clearly his steed of choice.
Yeah.
Wow. Take care of that horsey.
Yeah.
Takes the coin. Heads back with his other horse.
Right.
And then they all start eating carrots. Horses love carrots.
And then we're off.
Mm-hmm.
To the east!
Look at it go.
Alright. As soon as Tifa's done meditating, we'll go.
What is your horse's name now? You didn't name it for a good horse.
He didn't tell you the name.
You didn't tell me the name, eh?
So the
Really?
name's up to you.
Pony.
No.
Something with some kind of rock in it.
Yeah. Rock.
Brock.
Baldic granite.
So, sorry, what was that about? Titus's coin purse?
Oh, I took some money out of there to.
Is it that easy?
So I
I'm
didn't- no.
looking at it.
That's what I wanted to do.
That's what you wanted to
Okay,
do.
maybe to replenish what I lost.
Sorry, you're gonna steal 350 coins?
No, not maybe 100.
Wow.
I don't want to take too
How
much.
could you possibly, with all
You
of
know
us
that-
standing there?
The easiest thing to do would be to take the entire purse without him noticing.
Probably not keeping it.
And then take what you want and put it back.
All right, I'll do
Trying
that.
to take like that many coins out of
No.
Okay,
Did he
I'll take
drop some?
I'll take
All
the
of this
purse.
money is in the bag of holding. The
Yeah.
purse is in the
Oh.
bag of holding.
So you have to steal the bag of holding.
Okay,
God.
let's see if I can do that.
Are we ever leaving this town?
Yeah. Right now. Roll
I'd
sleight of
definitely
hand check.
fire our dwarf.
25.
Wow.
Titus, roll a d20.
20!
Woo!
Natural.
Damn it!
Slap his hand.
Every
What
time.
are you doing with my bag?
I was just checking something.
Don't touch my bag.
Oh.
This isn't the bag you're looking for.
Let's
Your new
just
war
pretend.
porn, he kind of snorts behind.
That's Brock.
Yeah.
Let's move on,
Alright.
shall we?
Clip clop, motherfuckers.
You have fun with
All
coconuts?
right.
Oh yeah, now you got horses.
Don't you have horse sound?
Yeah, yeah. I
Awesome.
didn't know you were gonna have horses.
That's pretty good.
There we go. That's pretty good.
Hey.
Onyx, what do you think of the horses? Like horses?
War pony.
Whoa! Hey! Hey! Hey there!
Wilbur.
Alright, so you finally head out through the southwestern gate.
What?
There's also, like, as you're heading out of the gate, Flint, there's a thought in your back of head back to the giant fight and how they pretty much clearly knocked through a big chunk of wall.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, that would have been the perfect way to get a beautiful carriage out of here unseen.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Those
Aw.
dicks.
Something to think about in
And as we're leaving, the abbot comes running out. Why would you deface my?
Oh.
No, he's way too busy for that.
Yeah.
No one's thought about taking the carriage and leaving with it right now. All right, but you are out of the Golden Fields. Many people kind of giving you not so much a hero's welcome, but a nod of respect as you're all leaving.
The hero's goodbye.
You know,
Once again, we leave another town in ruin.
Oh.
That's what we do.
there you are.
Trying to help
Technically,
an ant-
Phandalin wasn't in ruin. It was just occupied.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah,
So-
we got a great record so far.
I mean, have
We
we left
captured a
anything
wizard
better?
who came back and turned out to be all powerful. We rescued an uncle who got captured again.
Yeah.
We cleared out a cave which turned out to have a weapon of mass destruction. And it was
Hours seem to pass as you recount your many adventures on the road.
I had to say, you know
The
what?
time it's like
None of my
listening
family
to
is died.
a wonderful podcast as San just flipped through her notebook, just recounting this and
Everything
that.
we do ends in shit.
Speaking of-
No, we
She says
killed
as
that
she
dragon.
closes the book shut and looks up at the road ahead.
The dragon who was threatening nobody but spiders. Yay us.
I don't remember that.
Oh god.
I
I'm
just
thinking,
remember
what am I
victory.
doing with my life? When am I gonna get to this unicorn runs with this dish these
Wow. Team player.
Oh, if only I was chaotic evil, I'd kill all of them in their sleep.
The fantasies just drift from one head to the next. What if?
Well,
What if?
what if I was evil?
Whoa, Brock.
There we go.
So, how are you proceeding? Like, what exactly are you just sort of
I'm assuming
heading
she's
directly east?
tracking.
Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm tracking,
Yeah.
so getting a sense of, well, if I see any signs of giants or can detect if there are any ahead. many,
Okay.
where they're going. So keeping an eye out for that kind of stuff. I mean, we got a bit to go, right?
So, typically, like any kind of wilderness skills like that,
Yeah.
tracking, hunting something specifically,
Yeah.
or trying to guide your group through an area,
Yes.
that all falls into the survival skill group. So if you could just make a survival check with me with advantage
Yeah.
Boom.
because
So
of
roll
your
2 20s?
favored environments, yes.
Boom.
19. Do I need to
Good
roll
start.
again?
I mean, you
Wow.
might as well.
You could get one higher.
19.
Oh my
All
god.
right,
Good
hold on,
dice.
hold on to that one.
Hey, I told you I am good in these environments.
Yeah.
To survival.
Yeah.
Plus whatever.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah. +6.
Yeah. I 25, so I've survived.
You have survived.
You guys are gonna be okay.
Tracks wind and wave, and you kind of see like more rough terrain ahead. But you're clearly following the tracks of several large giants and many other markings that indicate possibly more ogres, and then other small to medium-sized creatures like maybe orcs or goblins.
This is
who
a
knows?
well-traveled area for some gross dudes. We
Yeah.
got some
Yeah.
giants and
The
ogres.
grossest.
Is
Yeah.
your
Any
thing?
signs of Knoll?
You're not sure.
There's
I'm
a
not-
knoll.
I'm
It's
not-
covered in
asking her.
grass.
Well, I'm not a tracker of gnolls too well.
No.
Are they magical in any way?
Magical
Okay, yeah, so I
delicious.
don't really have any gnoll senses other than
Well, would any of these tracks look unrecognizable and different to her?
Nowhere to run to, baby.
I mean, a lot of them are like just stepped on top of each other. Like there's clearly a large number. of
But I
people
can tell
within
how
the
long
area.
it's been since they've been here.
Yes, it's been about half a day.
Oh,
Whoa.
just half a day.
That's it.
I mean, at this
half a
point,
day.
well, I mean, this point you've traveled for like let's say about 4 hours.
Oh, so.
You're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Yeah, snap.
They're taking my hobbit's Isengard.
Alright. You know, I'm alert. I'm listening.
What are we gonna do when we get
Keep an
there?
eye.
Hopefully we can interrogate one of them and see if we can get any kind of info on what they've done to the town.
I speak goblin, so.
Okay.
I speak giant.
So this is a
Oh.
stealth operation.
You speak giant.
Oh,
I don't like stuff.
Okay, so.
Actually, I think everyone here except for Artie and Flint speaks giant.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I
I
you
speak
know.
giant, but in the stab in the eye kind of giant.
Actually,
Yeah. Well, I speak that too. But.
I'm gonna take off my amulet of giant and throw it to Flint. There,
Why?
I can speak giant.
Oh, we can
Whoa.
all
Why would
chill
you do that?
Because I can speak giant now too.
But now he can talk to giants.
So now
That
four
might
of
be
us
a
can
bad
speak
idea.
giant.
I don't think you should talk to anyone.
Well, it's either him or the turtle.
The dumbest person in our group is.
Now the two dumbest people. Oh no! Wait. The dumbest person's the only one that can't.
No,
speak
wait,
giant.
actually, no. It's actually.
Yeah, the option was either him or the turtle.
Yeah, Artie's far less intelligent than I
Yeah,
am.
I already shouldn't say anything.
Poor Artie.
Call it
Jeez,
an apology
guys.
for not wanting you on the
You
room.
know, Artie, you're just.
He's
new
just
to-
running along. No one got a horse for me, but
Oh no!
I mean it's all right. I'm pretty fast, and he's kind of like picking up speed.
I turned to look at him and be like, I was trying to get a carriage for all of us,
Oh, geez, that sounds real nice.
Yeah, our turtle's kind of fast.
but some people in this party are dicks,
Yeah.
and they don't like to have the dwarf have his dreams.
Okay,
Yeah.
but aren't we
I
like?
just gave you.
Are we in a hill
magic
yet?
Amulet.
Like, where is
Be
this,
happy.
this thing going?
Yeah, I mean it's looks like it heads due east.
What do you think about this terrain for a carriage? Okay, we leave our carriage right here. Done.
We have
Great.
faith in
Carriage
your
over.
abilities, Artie.
It was such a nice carriage.
Get over it.
He's faster than my broom anyway.
So as you're traveling through these carriage unfriendly hills,
Yeah.
that you all are very quick to point out several times during this journey.
It's a little
In giant.
Yeah, you notice that there's almost an unnatural flattening of the terrain up ahead, as if part of this area has been cleared for some sort of purpose, and the rough ground that you've been sort of trekking over starts to grow back and be cut down into some old-looking trail, almost wide enough for two of you to ride side by side.
It was wide enough for a carriage.
Nope. Not for two people next to each other.
Like if it's two horses.
So,
Looks like a grassy knoll. Maybe that's what we were doing. Alright,
We keep on moving.
Keep on moving.
25
Any
bottles
senses
of ale
of-
on the wall.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Things.
Hey,
Excitement.
is it- oh no!
your horse is kind of bringing in neigh as
Uh-oh.
I might as well just throw you all down
One of them's already prone. So.
I'm in tune with the creatures, and I know that they're disturbed.
here. There are two elven figures
Oh,
up ahead. One of them clearly dead or dying.
Oh,
Lays
no.
prone, sort of hunched over the knee of the other, who is just sort of gently running her hand through the other one's hair.
I'll run up to them.
Okay.
They stab you.
Speak Elvish
Go up to it. I speak English to
and ask, what happened here? What's going on?
It takes a moment for the conscious one to kind of look up from her friend, and she looks at you through bleary, tear-filled eyes, and she says, "They killed most of our scouting group."
No!
She's speaking
Who did?
English. Said,
Yeah.
this group of this war group of gnolls and ogres. We tried to fight them off. There's been more and more of them heading to the high forest over the past several weeks. We've been trying to narrow down where they're coming from, our party.
Yeah?
When we were cut down, and you see now that, like, where she's resting the head of this dead elf, like, she too is just
No.
bleeding profusely out from her
The other one's
guts.
already dead.
No!
The other one appears to already be dead.
How many of you were there? Are there?
Can I go help the one
Can
that's
we
hurt?
go like?
Sure.
Yeah.
How many of you are there?
She's takes a moment before she can really come up with any kind of reply. She says we were 8 total.
Okay. How many of them were there?
Let's go do some first aid.
She says there might have been 5 to 10. It was hard to keep track. It was quite dark out.
Can you point the
last
direction
night.
there? What do you think?
And you can see, I mean, this road heads up and up through the sloping hills to the base of the mountain. And you can almost see like a really, really small, like silhouetted tower way off in the distance.
We're pony.
She says they were heading down this trail.
Well, we're running up too.
Yeah, let's all go
There's
out.
something to help.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
it may be stupid, but we want to.
That's all he says.
Jeez.
pull out my holy symbol
We're
and
gonna try to take care of them.
I'm gonna pull out my holy symbol and whisper a prayer to Mord and cast 3 wounds.
Be able to injure any of them?
Can
They
they
all-
be healed?
And
Or are
it's
they?
5 hit points.
And you're trying to do this to the one who's speaking?
Yeah. I want to leave now, trying to see where I was.
Can I check to see if the one that looks dead is dead?
You may.
It's too soon. It's too soon for him.
Well, you know, if we can save it, then can we try
Oh,
to
you
save
think
it?
he's gonna take his stuff?
I thought you were going to steal all of it.
Yeah.
I should have.
Jeez, I'm not inhumane.
Were you healing for it?
Well, it was 5, but I should have rolled my cleric dice instead.
Yeah, to some surprise, Titus, you notice that San is down there casting a holy clerical spell on the elf,
Yeah.
which is not something she normally would do.
You got a new necklace.
Oh, hey.
That's why I was able to purify the food.
Through your years of acolyte training, you recognize that San's kind of sporting this necklace clearly devoted to the god Moradin. Showing your wizard's showing some signs of cleric.
Interesting.
Picked it up when I went back home.
Are you subclassing?
I said I'm multi-classed.
Multi-class?
I'm multi-classed.
That's bad.
So what are you, 5 and 1?
5 and 1.
5'1"? That's pretty tall for a
Yeah.
dwarf.
Yeah, that's what happens when you multi-class.
Okay.
I set it up 6 months ago when we stopped in Ezra.
Is this elf woman okay? Or does she need more help?
The one that she was cradling is definitely dead. It
Definitely
has,
dead?
Has been dead for a little while now.
I'm not that good at cleric.
The one that Sam has just okay, what's it? So
I'm very disturbed by this.
the one that Sam was trying to tend to is looking a bit better. The wound sort of closes up. She definitely still seems fairly injured. Thank you. I need to return to my people and report this as soon as possible. If you plan to journey onward, please take caution and thank you for this favor.
She said there was like 5 of them?
She thought 5 to 10. She said she kind of.
Like 5 to 10 giants or 5 to 10?
She was talking
minions?
about like goblins and ogres.
Okay.
Alrighty.
We can take 5 to 10.
Yeah, we get
So yeah, we lost Caden's cure wounds and now I have
it.
Oh, good.
I have cure wounds.
2
I
people with
just
cure
didn't
wounds.
feel like using it.
it. On a fellow elf.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, up ahead, you can see this trail winds and winds. It'll probably take you like about an hour or two to make it to this distant tower that you kind of spotted when she described that they seem to be heading towards.
This is where we shall go.
Okay.
Stealthily.
Alright. You can see her sort of begrudgingly picks her friend up gently and starts walking towards the woods with the body.
I can use passive bounty trace
Oh.
for heading in now to. You say how far away you were?
An hour.
About an hour or two.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
Once we get closer.
Pass the trace lasts an hour, doesn't it?
yeah, so I don't want to use it yet. We're an hour away. It'll be up.
So
You get a sense of anything.
it's a first level spell slot for you, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. You head down the trail. And how are you trying to proceed with your path by trace? Are you waiting until you get a certain distance away?
Yeah, well, if it's like an hour away, I would probably wait until I sensed or heard anything. Tracking them.
Okay.
Like if I see pressure.
Alright, so you're leading the
What's
way, trying to follow the tracks,
Yeah.
get close enough, and then when you're sort of a safe distance away,
Yeah.
you'll make your next moves.
Yep.
Okay. Alright. So for about an hour, you move a little bit slower than you have been. Are you all still using mounted approach? Okay. And you look to be about like, I don't know, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes out before this road changes into some sort of dug out kind of like quarry. Like the path sort of goes down and winds in, and that's where the road heads, and then sort of above that maybe another 10-15 minute hike up this hill. Like so it's kind of road, dug out quarry, and then up on this hill is this very small old looking tower with like several birds just sort of circling and cawing in the air above it. This is what you see in the distance. We'll have to talk about you actually approaching when you do so. But this is what you see about 10 minutes away.